Hello everybody, welcome to 21st Century IAS Academy Delhi Campus C.A.R.E initiative. This is Goli Varsha. Let us look into the first article for the day. A teleco double dip attempt that threatens net neutrality. Okay, so we need to know what is net neutrality from prelims perspective, because there can be a potential question. Now, what is net neutrality? It is a principle that the internet service providers should enable access to all the content and applications without favoring or blocking particular websites. Okay, it means that the internet service providers should not give preference to certain content over the other. Okay, so that is net neutrality. And there's one more term that is related to this particular concept, that is zero rating. Zero rating is a violation of net neutrality. Okay, zero rating and net neutrality. Zero rating and net neutrality. Zero rating is the practice of internet service providers that they do not charge the end customers for data used by specific applications or internet services through their network. Okay, so they are zero rated. For example, free basics from Facebook. Okay, yeah. So these are the two terms that you should be aware. And consider the following statements with regard to net neutrality. Okay. Deep packet inspection. Now, what is deep packet inspection? It is a method of examining and managing the network traffic. Okay. Now, what is the information that is going to and fro? That is called deep packet inspection. Okay. And if misused, it acts like a filter. Okay, they will allow only certain kind of data to pass through it. Okay, it's something like that. It's a kind of filter. You remember this way. Okay, deep packet inspection is a technology that can be used to violate net neutrality principles by discriminating against specific types of internet traffic. Yes, this is correct. Zero rating, a practice where certain applications or services are provided without consuming the user's data plan, is in accordance with the principles of net neutrality. No, it violates net neutrality. That's what we've seen, right? So, which of the following statements is are correct? Only one statement is right. Next, what is the concept of international net neutrality? Impose limitations for end-to-end internet access? No. Broadband service providers can show preference to content? No. It is not showing preference, right? You have to be neutral. Unimpeded end-to-end internet access and usage? Yes, this is the right answer. Okay? Yeah. Now, next question. More light, less sound on firecrackers and a festival of light. Okay. Now, to abate the noise crisis, governments must prevent the production of violative firecrackers, because Diwali is coming soon, so yeah. Consider the following statements with regard to the Noise Pollution Regulation and Control Rules 2000. Now, you have to understand one thing, that noise is also considered as an air pollutant. Noise is an air pollutant. Okay. And what is noise? What is noise? Unwanted sound is called noise. That is the definition. Second thing. And third thing is that these rules were framed under Environmental Protection Act of 1986. Oh, 86. Okay. Now, what are the components mentioned in these particular rules? It says that certain decibels are not allowed in certain areas. Okay, it mentions the zones, and it also mentions the decibels that are allowed or not allowed. Okay, and anybody violating these norms that are mentioned here, it will come under what? Criminal offense. Okay. And there is mention of a particular zone that is called the silent zone. And what is a silent zone? Silent zone is an area within 100 meters radius around hospitals, education institutions. Okay. So those are declared as silent zones. 100 meters is minimum. Okay, here is a school and 100 meters is the minimum. Okay, so these areas are called silent zones. Now let us come to the MCQ. Hospitals, education institutions and courts may be designated as silent areas or zones within a 100-meter radius by the state government as per these rules. Yes, state government will declare this. Sound emitting firecrackers shall not be burst in silent zone or during night time. This is also true because hospitals, if you observe, hospitals, in and around hospitals, these firecrackers will not be burned. Yeah. No horn shall be used in silent zones or during night time in residential areas except during a public emergency. This is also true. Sound emitting construction equipment shall not be used or operated during night time in residential areas and silent zones. This we are all aware, right? So all these 4 statements are correct. These are few basics that you need to keep in mind. Next, a noise level of 100 decibels would correspond to just audible sound? No, it is not just audible sound. According to WHO, see, I'm saying less than 70 decibels is safe. So 100 decibels is way more than 70 decibels. So it is what? Just audible sound? No. Ordinary conversation? Absolutely no. Sound from a noisy street? No, because we will be able to tolerate that. But noise from a shop, machine shop? No, will not be able to tolerate that, right? So it is this. Next article. States in court against their governors. Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Punjab have approached the Supreme Court to decide a time frame for which governors have to either return or grant assent to bills passed by the legislatures. So, time frame is, see, under Article 200, the governors can return a bill as soon as possible. This is the exact word they've used, as soon as possible. Now, how much is as soon as possible? That nobody knows. So, these people, the states, are approaching the Supreme Court saying that please decide a time frame. This term is really vague, and the bill's passage or giving the assent to the bill is taking a longer time than the usual time because the governor is using this particular loophole. Okay, so that is the issue. Next, consider the following statements. Governor could either declare his assent to the bill or withhold the assent for an indefinite period. How many of the statements given above are correct with regard to Article 200 of the Indian Constitution? Now, you have to know some basics about Article 200. Article 200 deals with state bills and governor. Okay. So, under Article 200, he can give assent, he can withhold the assent, he can reserve the bill for the president. Now, what will the president do with the bills reserved by the governor? That will come under Article 201. Okay, the governor has to reserve the bill for president if that particular bill is endangering the position of the High Court of that particular state. Okay, so that also you have to remember. And governor can also return bill to the state legislature for reconsideration. Okay, and once the state legislature returns it back to the governor has no power to return it for the second time. Okay, he has to do something but not return. Okay, so this is not there. All right, these are few basics. All right, now the governor could either declare his assent to the bill or withhold the assent. Yes, and this returning clause is there, no? This has to happen as soon as possible. That is the whole issue now. Why the states are going to the Supreme Court? Because of this clause. Okay. Governor can reserve the law for the consideration of the president if he thinks the bill derogates from or endangers the power of judicial review of the High Court. Yes, that's what we said. If the governor reserves a bill for president's consideration, the enactment of the bill then depends on the assent or refusal of assent by the president. Yes. Now, once he has reserved it for the president, if he wants, he will give the assent. If he wants to refuse, he will do that. And the entire fate of that bill depends on his actions. Okay, so all the 3 are correct. Now, which of the following statements are correct under the provisions of Article 200 of the Indian Constitution? Withholds his assent to a bill passed by the state legislature? Yes. Reserve the bill passed by the state legislature for consideration of the president. That's what we saw. Yes. Return the bill other than a money bill for reconsideration of the legislature. Yes. If it's a money bill, he will not resend it or return it. But otherwise, he has that power too. So 1, 2, 3. Now, next article. Check smuggling of areca nuts from Myanmar get votes, say Mizoram farmers. The trafficking of dry areca nuts from Southeast Asian countries, allegedly by people in southern Mizoram, has affected the livelihoods of some 13,000 areca nut farmers in state's northern part. Now, what are these areca nuts? It sounds so different, right? But in Hindi, you call it as supari. Supari. You've heard that, no? I'm sure you've heard that word. So, areca nuts are nothing but supari. Okay. Now, because they are given in the news very frequently, let us see some basics about areca nuts. Okay. So, in which area are they grown? Mostly, it is 28 degrees north and south of the equator. Okay, 28 degrees north and south of the equator, and temperature must range from 14 to 36 degrees, and it will grow in a variety of soils, and June to December is the optimum time period for their growth. Okay, and in India, Karnataka produces about 80% of country's areca nut. Now, what is areca nut? Is it a horticulture crop or which crop? It is a horticulture crop in Karnataka, commercial crop at national level, and dry fruit at international level. Alright, so these are some basics about this particular plant. Next, consider the following statements with regard to areca nut. India is the largest producer and consumer of areca nut. Yes, because many people eat supari now. Consuming is also high. Next, Assam is the largest producer of areca nut. No, we just saw. It is Karnataka, and it is producing 80% of the entire produce. Okay, next. Domestic sale of areca nuts from SEZ is promoted under foreign trade policy. No, it is not promoted. It is prohibited. So, this is also gone. Minimum support price is provided for it under minor forest produce. Yes. Now, what is this minimum support price under minor forest produce? That is a scheme of MSP for minor forest produce. Okay, and value addition to this minor forest produce. This is taken care by Ministry of Tribal Affairs and TriFed. Okay, so the areca nut gets the minimum support price under minor forest produce. Alright, so 2 statements are correct. Next, consider the following. Okay, 7 plans are given. The Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs has announced minimum support price for which of the above? See here, we've just seen that areca nut is given MSP under minor forest produce. You getting my point? So if you, barley, yes, you will have. So C is gone. And when you know 1 is not there, you will actually get the answer. 1 is not there. You will eliminate A, C, D. B is the answer. Okay, now this MSP is a very, very important thing. Every year question, almost directly or indirectly, it will be there. Okay, so please be thorough with this particular theme. Next, Quad's IPMDA approved for a commitment to a free, open, inclusive Indo-Pacific. Now, what is this IPMDA? IPMDA is Indo-Pacific Partnership for Maritime Domain Awareness. Okay, so that is in news. Now we'll see MCQ related to that. The Indo-Pacific Partnership for Maritime Domain Awareness is an initiative of which of the following organizations? It is Quad, because we have just seen, no? Here it is Quad. So that is the answer. In the recent formed a grouping of countries generally known as Middle East Quad, in addition to India, which of the following are other members? It is Israel, UAE and USA. Now, why did they form this Middle East Quad? USA has pivot to Asia policy? Okay, so as part of one factor is this one, and the second are the Abraham Accords. Abraham Accords. Now, what are these Abraham Accords? Abraham Accords are joint agreements or declarations signed by few countries for peace. Okay, now they were signed by United Arab Emirates, Bahrain and Israel. Okay, now what are the countries that are present in this Quad grouping? It is India, Australia, USA and Japan. Okay, groupings, you be very thorough. Okay, next. Newly developed affordable radiative paint can reduce electricity consumption for cooling buildings. This is a very novel innovation. Next, consider the following statements with regard to radiative paint. Radiative paint emits visible light when exposed to sunlight. See, it is designed to absorb and emit thermal radiation, not visible light. Okay, so this is wrong. Radiative paint is designed to absorb and emit thermal radiation, helping to cool surface. This is right. Radiative paint is used in underwater applications to enhance the visibility of submerged topics. No, it is not, because it is not emitting any visible light, right? So, this is wrong. Only one is the right answer. Workers of paint industry are exposed to which one of the following hazards? It is lead pollution, because in paints manufacturing, lead is a very important component. Next article. India-Russia new sea trade route plan in final stages of clearances. Okay, so there's a sea trade route plan that is in final stages, and yeah, we'll see the MCQ. The Eastern Maritime Corridor is a proposed sea route connecting which of the following countries? It is India and Russia. So the sea route which we were talking about is called Eastern Maritime Corridor. Okay, now what is Eastern Maritime Corridor? Which all cities or places it is connecting? It starts here in Chennai, then you'll have Malacca Strait here, Malaysia, then South China Sea, through the Sea of Japan, and in Russia, it is Vladivostok. Okay, so this is the Eastern Maritime Corridor between India and Russia. Okay, so yeah, this is important. Next, with reference to India projects on connectivity, consider the following statements. East-West Corridor under Golden Triangle project connects Dibrugarh and Surat. No, it is not Dibrugarh and Surat. It is not Dibrugarh and Surat. The Golden, it is Silachar and Porbandar here. And here it is Srinagar and Kanyakumari. So this is gone. Trilateral highway connects More in Manipur. More in Manipur is correct. And Chiang Mai in Thailand via Myanmar. No, this is not Chiang Mai. It is Mysore. It is Mysore. So this is gone. Bangladesh, China, India, Myanmar Economic Corridor. Yeah, BCIM. That's what we call, right? Connects Varanasi in Uttar Pradesh with Kunming in China. No, it's not Varanasi in Uttar Pradesh. It is Kolkata to Kunming in China. So, none of the statements are correct. D is the answer. Next article. China's first deficit in foreign investment signals West's de-risking pressure. It might sound like a very fancy word, de-risking. So, if you have to understand, just draw an analogy. When you're stressed, you do something to de-stress yourself. Likewise, in economy, when the economy isn't performing very well, or say there are huge risks involved, if there are measures being taken to reduce that risk, it is called de-risking. Okay, which means moving business away from areas that are considered risk in terms of returns. Okay, that is de-risking. Now we'll come to the MCQ. What is the primary characteristic that distinguishes direct investment liabilities from other forms of cross-border investment? First of all, what is direct investment liability? You have to know. So, direct investment liability means a resident in one economy having a control or significant degree of influence on the management of an enterprise that is resident in another economy. So that is direct investment liability. It is a form of cross-border investment. Okay, now we'll come to the options. Direct investment liabilities include associated debt along with equity, providing control or influence over the management of an enterprise. That's what we saw by the definition, right? So this is correct. Which of the following constitute capital accounts? See, you have to know what is a capital account. Capital account is a record of the transactions involving capital inflows and outflows that affect the country's international assets and liabilities. Okay. Assets and liabilities, if you are making any change to that one, then it will come under capital account. Okay. Now, foreign loans, yes. Foreign direct investment, yes. Private remittances, no. Private remittances, no. So, when 3 is gone, A, C, D are gone. B is the answer. Okay. Now, next article. RBI could hike rates if oil sees sustained rise, says Morgan Stanley. Okay, we'll come to the MCQ. In response to a significant increase in crude oil prices, how many of the following actions are most likely to be carried out by Reserve Bank of India? Choose the correct code. In such questions, you have to check for two things. Number one, if the given statements are functions of RBI or not. That is the first check. Second, are these functions related to the given scenario? That is, increase in crude oil prices. Is it going to get affected, or will it affect any of these things? The link, establishment of the link is the second one. First thing, if it is not a function of RBI, directly you can rule it out. Second, you have to check for the link between the options and the scenario mentioned. Clear? Okay. Adjusting the key policy interest rates, yes, this is a function of RBI, and also it is the link between increase in crude oil price and this statement is there. Next, implementing fiscal stimulus packages, no. This is not a part of this one. It is not a function of RBI. Okay. It is usually carried out by the government, right? So, second is gone. Managing foreign exchange reserves, yes. Controlling inflation through monetary policy measures, yes. So, 3 statements are correct. Now, we'll see a similar PYQ. With reference to the Indian economy, consider the following statements. If the inflation is too high, the Reserve Bank of India is likely to buy government securities. No, this is sell government securities. How? I'll tell you how. See, what is inflation? Unprecedented increase in prices, right? Now, why will that happen? If too much of money is chasing too few goods, there is a demand-supply mismatch and the prices increase. Okay, now this excess money needs to be pulled out of the market. Now, how will they pull out of the market? What will the RBI do? It will give securities, that is, it will sell securities and we pay the money, right? So, it will suck the money. It will give securities and we will have it in hand. You understanding my point? To suck the money, it will sell the government securities. It will not buy. Okay, so 1 is gone. Now, observe the statements. If 1 is gone, A is gone, C is gone, D is gone, B is the answer. Okay. Now, next article. DP High has revolutionized financial inclusion landscape and India is at the forefront of this revolution, says Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman. Now, what is DPI? It is Digital Public Infrastructure. Digital Public Infrastructure. Okay. Full form is fine. Now, what is the definition? Digital public infrastructure refers to platforms such as digital identification, payment infrastructure, and data exchange solutions that help the countries to deliver the essential services to their people. Okay, so that is digital public infrastructure. Now, we'll understand this concept more clearly through MCQ. Consider the following. Okay. These are given. Okay. How many of the options listed above are part of India's digital public infrastructure? Now, what is COVID? COVID vaccine intelligence network. During the COVID pandemic, we have seen this. So this is right. E-Rupee, yes. The name itself says E is electronic. So this is there. TREADS. Now, what is TREADS? It is Trade Receivables Discounting System. It is related to MSMEs. Okay. So this is also there. ONDC. Now, what is ONDC? It is Open Network for Digital Commerce. Digital Commerce. The name itself is saying. So all these four are correct. Now we'll come to a PYQ of this theme. Consider the following: Arogya Setu, Covin, DigiLocker, and Diksha. Covin we already have seen. COVID vaccine intelligence network. Now what is Diksha? It is digital infrastructure for knowledge sharing. Okay, it is for teachers. It's a national platform for teachers to share their knowledge. Okay, which of the above are built on top of open source digital platforms? Yeah, here there's another term known as open source digital platform. Now, what is this open source digital platform? See, any platform that allows access to its source code. Some coding has to be done, right? And if that particular platform is allowing us the access to its source code, then it is called open source digital platform. Okay. And there is, what is the opposite to it? It is closed source digital platform. That means we do not have, or we will not have the access to the source code. Example is the Apple company. All right. So yeah, all the four are based on open source. So it is open source digital platform. So D is the answer. All right. This is it for today. All the very best.